In this video, I sit down with my friend Sadiq and talk through how he was able to hit $100,000 a month with Amazon online and retail arbitrage as a full-time college student. What's up, Sadiq? Thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So you're someone I've totally seen come up over the past like 6 months or really a year or so with online and retail arbitrage. So for people who might not be familiar, might not follow you yet on Twitter, they absolutely should be. You want to just kind of break down your background, what you've been able to do so far Amazon-wise?
Yeah, my name's Sadiq. I'm 20 years old. I'm currently a college student. I started Amazon around a year ago, last August, and recently I just put up 100K a month in August.
Sure. And you said obviously August was really, really good. September was a little bit lower just based off it not being a really seasonal opportunity. But with back to school being August, which is obviously a fantastic opportunity. That was my coming out party a couple of years ago as well. And Q4 here and December and November being the really big months, how can people go ahead and take full advantage of that stuff? Like, what did you do differently that we're really able to see a lot of growth in August?
Yeah, the only thing I really did differently was go deeper on the things that were already working. So I'm big in sneakers and apparel, and I knew back to school kids were buying more shoes and more clothing for back to school. So I just bought deeper into those units.
Yeah, and an issue a lot of people see is like wondering when they should go deep on products. And my best piece of advice with that is, especially like with FBM, how you can learn really quick, or even just FBA, is that the only reason to go deep on something, if you're worried about going deep, is once you have data that that's already sold really well for you, right? So how do you think about increasing purchase quantity? Because that's a big limiting belief for a lot of people.
Yeah, if the data shows it's moving and it's a seasonal opportunity, you just have to go deeper and not think about it twice. That's something like the boy's been helping me with recently. Like, you just have to go deeper if you know it's going to sell out.
Sure. And so you have a hybrid operation of online and retail arbitrage based out of Pennsylvania. How does that work? What does it look like? Who's doing all the sourcing, virtual assistants, prep centers? How do we think about that?
Yeah, so for online arbitrage, it's mainly just me sourcing with the boys every night. I'll do the purchasing and the checkouts and everything still. For retail arbitrage, it started with me by myself. Recently, I hired 2 more employees to do the RA for me. They're just my college buddies that I know pretty closely. And I just have them go to the outlets, pick up the inventory, and drop it off to my house. And they're fully trained. I went with them a couple times, and they're good for it now.
Sure. How does that system actually work though? Because if one were to scale retail arbitrage, that would be the way you pretty much have to do it. So are they scanning stuff with SellerAmp? Are they only buying stuff you already know? Are they making the decisions? Are they texting you? How does that work?
Yeah, at this point, they're making all the decisions. I've been with them like 5 to 10 times with them to show them how to scan stuff on SellerAmp, what's profitable, to check for like a price inflation on the Keep It chart on SellerAmp. And yeah, so right now they're making all the buying decisions.
Nice. Okay. And I assume they just have like an employee credit card?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, sweet. And then what's your current spread of OA versus RA?
It's normally like 80-20, 80% OA, but for back to school, it was 50-50 just because Nike was running a sale all month. So it was perfect.
Yeah, and with retail arbitrage, a big benefit of speed, right? You know, anyone watching this can go to their local Adidas outlet or Nike outlet and get stuff in hand today, get it listed in hand today, sent out to Amazon tomorrow. So you have a big advantage with speed, which I think as a newer seller, just because you're obviously not finding the best inventory, you know, the best discounts, is a big advantage you have taking advantage of that stuff. I think definitely for new sellers watching this, is that speed and everything. And then talk about the actual systems of doing FBM at scale, because that's a lot of people watching this, if I have anything to say about it, are going to really nicely be able to hit their first scale, their first big months, next couple months. And a lot of it's going to be FBM. So how do you actually manage doing FBM at scale?
Again, it's going to be the RA workers that go to the outlet for me already. They're going to be the ones doing the FBM for me, just because I'm planning on doing a crazy amount of volume in December. And I don't want to be the one doing all of that. I would rather be sourcing the entire time. So I'm going to have them do it for me.
Sure. One really nice tip just in terms of merchant fulfilled for those of you guys watching this. So you can save a ton of time doing pickups. You can actually get USPS pickups completely free just on the USPS website. And then on pirateship.com, you can get really discounted UPS pickups as well, where they'll actually come and pick up the inventory for you. So that can give you a lot of extra time to source as well. And then you're obviously pretty young. We were just talking about probably your birthday was recently, you just turned 20. So you made over $10,000 profit in a month when you were 19. What actually made you get into selling on Amazon? How'd you learn about it?
Yeah, so I started sneaker reselling around 3 years ago. I worked at Papa John's beforehand. I knew I didn't want to do that. So I switched over to reselling sneakers. My first month ever, I did 1,200 profit, which was my salary at the time.
Whoa! How'd you get going that quick though?
I already had the money built up from Papa John's, right? And
Oh, so you're
then
smart. Okay.
yeah, and then I just went full into sneaker reselling, joined a couple of Discord groups, learned how to do that. And then up until last August, I made the switch because me and my buddies realized Amazon was a way bigger opportunity. The velocity's higher, you can make way more profit. So I made the full switch last August.
Sure. And then another thing you've mentioned a few times is like the boys in the community. And that's something I always talk about as well, that I think a lot of people really sleep on and underutilize. So how do you think about the Amazon community, how you actually like get in it and interact, and talk about the benefits you've been able to get from it?
Bro, there's like unlimited benefits with networking. Like if you share some of your loops and some things you've been doing with someone else that you trust, obviously, they're going to put you onto their loops too. And everyone just makes more money. And then to get into it, just be active on like Discord and social media, like Twitter especially. I love Twitter. That's how I met all the boys, and that's who I talk to on a day-to-day basis now.
Yeah, it's neat, man. I can't remember who brought it up the other day, but like I listened to a lot of Mr. Beast interviews, and he talks about how he had that group of YouTubers that he met with and masterminded with every day for like 3 years in a row, basically. And at a smaller scale, like it's super doable to do that with Amazon. You just gotta like not be afraid of like talking to other people and existing, basically, which is kind of the key to like everything in life, honestly. But it's the exact same way. Like today's actually the 2-year Buy Box Bandits anniversary. Right. And if Garrett never commented on my post and I never DM'd him off of Gary Vee telling me to say hi to everyone that comments on my stuff, like none of that stuff would have ever happened and everything. So it's really interesting. But like the way I see it is like, curious your thoughts on this, right? The way I see it is like, you want to, when you start out business, right, super nice, low risk, but you have to build yourself leverage, right? And connections are leverage, and social media is where you find that for like $0, right? So it's so smart to just like document. Today I did this. Today it didn't work. Here's a picture of me in a bunch of boxes, right? Over time, people start to really see your story and everything. So how do you actually get in the community?
Yeah, a lot of people get hung up on the fact that they're not doing as crazy numbers that they might see on the timeline, right? But it's more important to just post whatever you're doing. Like the shipment that you're sending out today, you sourced a couple $100 worth of inventory, your first 1K sales day. Like people eat that up and they want to help you and they want to give you like the mentorship you need, basically for free.
Well, exactly. And that's what's interesting is it costs no money to do, right? And, people even like, a decade or two ago, especially like 2 decades ago and beyond, obviously for thousands of years of human history, would kill to have that type of connectivity, especially at no cost.
Yep.
Right. So like, there's the thing, it's like the chicken or the egg, right? Do you get in the community prior to being good, or does being in the community make you good? I would definitely go with the latter, right? Because I've seen you be able to come up, right? A ton of people are able to see me come up over the years, right? And all the money is in those Zoom calls, like we always see you guys doing on Twitter, right? In the group chats you and I have with some of the other boys and stuff. And it's just so important to really do that and everything. So if you could do it over again, is there anything you would do differently, or mistakes you made that you think would be applicable for people watching this?
Yeah, I would 100% get business credit faster. I didn't get it until May of this year, so that was like recently.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, and then it just helped me scale up more. Like I have the Plum card, 6-day payback period. I have a 0% APR card too. So if I want to purchase like a longer play inventory, I could do it if I wanted to and make more money as a result.
Sure. Yeah. So what Sadiq mentioned in terms of business credit. So a couple of the really good business credit options are going to be the Amex Business Blue, which is a 0% APR card. Obviously using leverage adds risks, audit your own risk tolerance right there. And then the Amex Plum offers a 60-day payback period as well, which can be really advantageous. So it's literally like the fruit, the plum, PLUM, basically. It's a 60-day payback period. It's like a cool red looking card. Basically, okay, so coming off of a huge August, right? Looking to do a huge December, what do you think you can do, and what are the changes you're making to make that possible?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to do 300K in December. That's the ultimate goal, 50K profit minimum. Yep. Yeah, and then for the systems in place, I have my VA handling a lot of the admin work, receiving sheets, sorting emails, invoices, like all of that stuff. So I don't want to have to worry about that. I want to spend all my time sourcing. And then obviously I have the RA boys doing the FBM and then the RA for me. So my entire job here is like credit management, cash flow, and sourcing the profitable inventory for OA.
Sure. That's a good clip too. You should pull that for Twitter as well. But yeah, man, if you break it down, right, it's like, dude, it's like super realistic. Can you buy 20K worth of profit to send to FBA during Black Friday in November? Of course you can, right? And all we got to do is $1,000 profit a day, FBM, throughout December, right? To bridge the gap and take up the other 60% of it, right? Let's call it average profit is $20, right? You only got to sell XYZ amount of units a day, right? Can you do that? Of course you can, right? Everyone watching this, you guys are seeing, if you're doing product research, you're seeing all the time products that went to the moon last December. Each time that happens, one click export it out to a SellerAmp spreadsheet, and then you're going to be able to take advantage of that stuff when December comes and everything, and it'll be a beautiful thing. Now that you're becoming one of the authorities in the space, right? Having these big screenshots, having a lot of social proof connected. What are some of the mistakes you see a lot of beginners making, just off of people in your DMs and stuff? Now that people are hitting you up about that and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them are just overthinking it. You got to just jump head first. And there's all the free resources in the world. You and Warner, like, you guys have all the info. Post on your YouTube channels. Just watch those. Talk to a couple sellers, and just don't be afraid to take the risk, because the other options are just not as good as what you're going to get from Amazon.
Yeah, well, if you do the right stuff, right? And the nice thing, man, is what is more risk-free than go scan stuff at the Nike outlet, buy one of something. You can see FBM people on this. You're gonna be able to learn a lot just doing that. And I think a lot more people, just like now that I've been kind of met a lot of people that do this. A lot of people that are watching this live in like either a major city or the suburbs of major cities. So you have tons of opportunities to do retail arbitrage too. Like, you're going to see not a lot of price volatility at all. Just scanning stuff, retail arbitrage, sending it in immediately or listing it, trying it out FBM. And then just for context, what was the spread FBM versus FBA in August?
It was like 60% FBA, 40% FBM.
That's actually pretty impressive then. So you were decently well prepared, or were you making shipments throughout August?
Both. Yeah, I was doing a lot of FBM, and I was still doing shipments in the beginning of August.
Cool, neat. Yeah, because like the tough part is like, especially with Q4 approaching, it's like, okay, when do I stop FBAing stuff? Right? If you're asking that question, the answer is December 1st, period. Right there. But obviously, those of us, there's nuance, right? Where it's like, okay, I might have bought a ton of something where I can bridge the gap and wait 2 weeks for it to check in and everything. But okay, where can people follow you on social media, and where can people get the t-shirt we're wearing today as well?
Yeah, I'm Sadiq Wahab. It's on the screen right now. On Twitter, I'm pretty active over there. If you shoot me a DM, I'll answer you same day. And then the shirt from our boy Pete Flips, bro.
Flips, yes, sir, on Twitter as well. So check out Pete. We got the rise and grind movement spreading. People are like tagging me on Twitter about it too, and everything's cool. Go follow Sadiq. Hopefully we can do another one of these with a 250,000 300K screenshot in December right there. But dude, you're a rock star. I'm glad to know you. Thanks for doing the video, and everyone go check out Sadiq on Twitter.